Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just centering everything here. It's Sunday and almost a full moon, not quite. The sun is conjuncting Pluto, and we have the moon in Cancer. And with that moon in Cancer, the emotions are coming in, but we're wanting to look at the stability that we want to create. This is a fine time. I think today would be a really nice day to plan out your week, especially spiritually, on what are the things that you want to do on a spiritual level. So this would be a really nice week with the full moon, and the nodes are changing. Uranus is going forward. There's a lot of pressures that I feel that are coming in. And what I feel for myself, especially today, is a little bit of brain fog. Now I know I have to do the moon readings for people, which you'll get you will get your moon reading for this full moon in Cancer, definitely. But I like to be probably some of people will be starting to get them this afternoon in that, and so I'll be doing them this week. Is planning out your week and looking at planning out your week. One of the things on my mind, especially since Steve is working still these 12-hour shifts from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, and they take their toll on me. One of the reasons why they take their toll on me is that I get up with him and I drive him, drop him off at work, and then come home. And it's not like I can jump back into bed. I have Mateus coming in. So this is where I'm starting to look, okay, what can I start to do to plan my week out? So I can come into more of a flow. And what's beautiful about owning my own business and doing my own business is that I can do that. It's taken me a while to really look at that and say, yeah, I could do that. Because sometimes, or if you do work from home, this is where it's getting out of an old belief system that, okay, I have to do this, have to do this, have to do this, have to do this. This is where, especially with this moon, is to look at how can I support myself emotionally, yet still get the stuff I need done. So this is a very beautiful time to sit back, grab your coffee, and say, and this is my mug today. I got my joy mug, and people will see that I really love the word joy. Joy is my word. I love the word joy. Have joy on my as you enter my office now. I found a really cute little joy Christmas thing for 50 cents. But I love the word joy. Plan your week, factor in a nap from 2 to 4. Exactly, Dana. See, it's like, what do you need to do to create a healthier lifestyle for yourself? And start to look at how you can create a healthier lifestyle. What does that feel like to you? What do you feel like you're missing? For me, I never thought, like, because I've always been the workaholic, the pusher, let's get things done, that if I did take a 5-minute nap, if I did just sort of chill out, like it's kind of like I time myself, and then at 6 o'clock I can watch my shows, and I can watch them, from this time to this time or something like that. So this is where I can really look at where, okay, Steve's working Monday to Thursday this week. We're not sure of his following week. This is the way our life has been for the past 3 months, in this uncertainty of, okay, is he going to get hours? Is he not going to get hours? And he's been working for at least 3 different companies in order to get full-time hours. And for us, this is a time and to really look at and say, okay, how can I plan this out? What does this feel like to plan this out? And it's like, people who take time to meal plan. And doing this is where the energy's at. It's like, okay, what is going to make my life feel more holistic for me, more in alignment for me? What is that energy? And with this full moon, this is where it's at. Now I know, of course, we have Mateus come in. I have to drop him off at school, pick him up after school, get dinner ready, pick my husband up, and make sure that everybody's fed. That's sort of become my role. And along with that is also looking at different things that I need to set in for myself. So whether I'm teaching a class that night, so I have fairy workshop that is every Monday evening for 15 weeks. We already had week 1. So this is coming into week 2. I have a one-on-one class that I'm doing with a client who requested it, that we're going to start tomorrow on Tuesday. And then I'm going to be having the Angel Alchemy class that's going to be starting on the 26th. And so I have to look at, okay, so in the evenings, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings are going to be full. So I really have to balance that out. So this is what you look at. You look at your week and say, okay, what is my week going to look like? And how can I balance that out? Balance that out so I can give my best to when I am doing my readings and that for people and my consultations for my clients, and then be able to be spot on when it comes to my teaching in the evening. So this is where it's like, okay, this is my planning, and looking at, all right, where can I take time out for making things healthier for me? So it could be, let me restart my 30-day yoga program. But do I want to do it every single day? That's the other thing, because it's like, okay, when you understand that, if your personality, you understand your personality, you understand, okay, if I start this, am I going to get crazy about it? Am I going to get fixated? Oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. And then feel guilty. It's like, no, I want to do it like maybe one to 3 times a week. Looking at the weather, and even saying, okay, maybe there's a couple days that I will walk to school. I mean, it's not very far from Mateus to walk to school. So walk to school a couple days a week with him. And he loves to walk to school because we look at the nests and we find the birds and we see the squirrels and the bunnies and all of that fun stuff. So this is what I mean with this full moon. This full moon is about your emotional well-being, yet the sun is coming in, highlighting it. That's why you got a full moon. It's like showing its brilliance of this moon, and it's saying, all right, how can you put this down into a practical manner, Capricorn? So it's meeting your emotional needs along with what's the practicality of this, and not overextending yourself, because this week it's another heavy week. This is another week of a lot of energies that are coming in, and changes and switches up that are coming forward. We also have where the truckers this week are going to Ottawa. What is that going to look like? And they're doing this in a very peaceful manner, which is awesome. They're all over TikTok, it's all over Instagram, it's all over all social medias, that what they are doing. And this is like, okay, what does that mean for me personally? So what do I need to do? And maybe I need to stock up on a few extra things, which I did today, but I'm not going to panic about it. That's the thing. I'm not going to panic about this. I'm not going to like, oh, I can't get this. It's like, no, you know what? This is okay. This is something that is going to bring in some changes. So, all right, I'm going to allow myself to go into a flow with this. So that's what's going to be so important over this, next while. And as we are coming into the Aquarius age, because Capricorn energy is ending, the Aquarius energy is coming. And I do have an Aquarius workbook as well. So I have the Cancer full moon workbook. So for each season, which I can consider a season, like Capricorn season or Aquarius season, Pisces season, I do workbooks for the full moon and new moon. So I have the Aquarius season workbooks done up. So I have the one for the Aquarius new moon, which is on February 1st, and then for the full moon, which will be in Leo, and that's will be about 2 weeks afterwards. I think it's 14th. I think February 16th is the full moon in Leo. So we have this energy that, okay, let's work with this. Let's create, but not in a stressful, we're like, oh, I gotta create this, and freaking out over things. Because this is where you could get into brain fog, you know, and you could get where you're just it'd be too much and you're too inundated and you're just like, oh my God. And you're just making yourself filled with crazy anxiety and freaking out. And that's not where we want the your energies to go. This is where we want to bring in um some changes. And my daughter just wrote to me. She says, what do I do with empty jars of pasta? Clean them out and save them. That's what your mother does, because I recycle all my glass jars, and I keep them, and I use my glass jars for all different things. Right now, one of the things when I had, especially when I had Olivia and Sam living here, Sam loved to eat out a lot. And sometimes my eldest son likes to eat out. So, but what they do is that, changing the subject totally. What I do is that, all the packages of ketchup that come in, or soy sauce or what have you, I put them in the glass jars. And I put them in there so that all of these are in there, because to keep them. So I store them in the glass jars. I also store my pasta in the glass jars. I store, sometimes I use them for all um my paintbrushes and things like that. So there's many uses for glass jars. And sometimes I even reuse them for other things. And they, depending on the seal on them, you can use them to reseal. So, and some of the companies actually use, and they'll say mason jar on there, so you can get the mason jar lids that will fit on them. So if you do any canning and things like that, you can do it also, because of, I know some people are already stocked up on their canning jars and they've been fabulous and everything, but other people may not have a lot of canning jars, so you can reuse your spaghetti jars. Anyways, tangent there on reusable things. So this is this is where the energy is coming in. Let's look at practicality, and you do the practicality on what you are wanting to do. So we do have that sun conjunct Pluto, and it is to dig deep to get to the root of an inquiry. I wrote this up on my Facebook, and still be mindful that the depths can bear power struggles. So that's the thing. It's like you're looking at your planning, and I'm just saying, just do a week at a time. Like, take your Sundays and do it a week at a time. If you want to go for the full month, cool. But this is where it's just getting you into a nice little flow, but not, because we have a little bit of the power struggle coming in. We don't want to go into a push and a pull kind of thing. Want to go into a flow. And that's what Mercury retrograde is. Let's go into the flow. Let's work with this, and let's not freak out. So when things come in, or an obstacle comes forward, we can take that time and take a step back. Something goes on with computer. It's like, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to let it go. That's what I'm going to do. So that's what you got to honor within yourself and with the energies coming forward. This is also where, if you can't find something, or if something is out of stock, not to freak out. It's like, okay, it's not in right now. What else can I use? What are the substitutes that I can start to utilize? And that's what the other thing that we got to get used to is, like, you're going to be learning how to do substitute for things that you might enjoy. So there might be something that you really, really loved, and you can no longer find it on the shelves at this time. So understanding that too, because with the truckers convoy that's coming in, and the things that they're going, um, supplies aren't going to be there. So you're going to find that supplies are going to be low. In that you also have to be aware of prices. So if you're buying anything, make sure you buy, watch the pricing of what you're buying. So that's the other piece too. And I noticed this the other day, is like with bacon is one. So bacon has gone from 4.99 or something like that, and now it's like 6, 7, $8 a package. But look at how many grams that package is now. The packaging size may not have changed, but they may have spread the bacon out inside of it. So there's less bacon inside. So take a look at that, and things like that. So, this is we're coming into some, kind of bumpity roads and crazy times. And so this is for us to really take this time and look at it. If we're getting emotional about it, why are we getting emotional about it? Why are we getting overwhelmed with it? And taking that step back with it all. And that's really an important thing, right? Oh, you're right, mine was 375 grams. It was 3, yeah. So bacon going down to 375 grams from like 400 or 425. So those are the things you're gonna be seeing over the next while. Um, there is an inflation. Okay. That also has to do with how the energies are, the control factors, Saturn squaring Uranus, Jupiter going into Pisces, that, because there's no boundaries, it feels boundless and stuff. So you're going to see a lot of, inflation, things going up, rising prices. So we're going to be seeing things like that. We're going to also see a lot of parliamentary arguments that are going to come forward, and people really coming in and arguing and fighting, right? So that's going to be an interesting factor too. And I feel, a lot more, they're not going to sit on the sidelines of things. So more voices are going to be speaking out, and people are going to be seeing things. We've seen it in Germany, we've seen it in France, God bless them over there. They're really rising up. We're seeing it in Quebec. People are rising up. They're not putting up with it. This is all part of that global revolution that I was mentioning about what's going to be evolving for this year. And the global revolution doesn't mean that it's like we're going to go out there with pitchforks and guns and shoot people. The global revolution is very much where we're seeing, like, even with the truckers, very peaceful. Like, we're not going to take this anymore, but we're not going to take it sitting down. This is like we're putting a stop, and to to make the changes. And I can hear the government, I can hear things saying like, we are not going to be held ransom for all of this. We are not going to be held. But you've been holding us all at ransom. You've been doing things, the oppression, and finding out that we've been spied on in Canada. Over 33 million people were spied on. This is like, it's like, oh, well, no, I'm not going to take that. That's why a lot of people have gone off of even their phones, their different phones that don't have any social media, nothing on it. One of the Pam Gregory, I've taken courses from her years and years ago. Absolutely fabulous astrologer. She's from the UK. She still has a landline. She does have a cell phone. She's not on Facebook, Instagram. The only way you can find her is on YouTube. So she's very particular to where her media goes to. And I started listening to you on my other computer. This is, where she's, backed away. It hasn't hindered her business. Like, she's one of the top astrologers in the world now. And she through her courses and everything that she's done, she's not starving, that's for sure. But she's also creating a community around herself. Like, she lives in a very small flat that, with a little bit of a backyard and stuff. Like, she doesn't live on a huge farmland, but she's growing her microgreen. She's doing hydroponics in her house. She is creating something very simple. She's also has a community with other farmers in that around her, and reaching out and creating a community. So you can very much do that. I mean, to create that community around you. So that's part of the planning. How can I create the community? Who are the people I can get involved with? Who are the people that maybe I do want to plant more things this year? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are microgreens, and how can I grow microgreens in my house? This is all part of it, right? And it's all part of that culture that's coming in to create something and build a community. Now that's all having to come back to this full moon, which is all about the emotional feeling and the practicality with Capricorn. So we're bringing in the practicality along with the emotions to allow us to go with the flow and not doing the pushing and the shoving and trying to overrun things or trying to make ourselves into crazy maniacs and freaking out over stuff, right? So I think, with what happened yesterday, and I found out about um, the underground volcano erupting and stuff. I don't think anything serious happened on the coast. I didn't hear of anything. My girlfriend from Orange County said, "Yeah, it was rough weather yesterday," but she said it wasn't anything that they were planning. But she's certainly glad she went out and got some extra stuff, so that she has it. It's not, and she's quite used to making sure that she has extra things because of earthquakes. So she always has her earthquake kit there. So in case anything happens with extra blankets and things like that. But now she's thinking of, what? She's looking at what other things can I get? And she is now looking on well, she's today, or no, this week. She's going to, no, maybe it is today. Today's Sunday, yeah. So going to a market, but she's looking for antique kerosene lamps. And I'm like, ooh, that really sparked my interest. Because I used to, as a kid, in the 70s, kerosene lamps were cool. You could find them anywhere, and then you get the lamp oil that goes with it that smells really nice. My sister thought it was really weird because I wanted my kerosene lamp as I went to bed at night, and I'd listen to my transistor radio to pick up different, very much dating myself, pick up different radio stations and stuff. So used to love that. Used to love that. So she's talking about looking at kerosene lamps and getting some kerosene lamps. And I'm just like, oh, yes. So that's going to be my next thing, is looking at different little things like that. I know my kids think I am absolutely batshit crazy sometimes with some of the things I'm doing until it happens, right? Until my daughter, texts me and says, "Mom, I can't find this or I can't find that." Right? And they're like, "Oh, well, that's what you've been telling me." And they're like, oh, okay, she's not so batshit crazy as what we thought, right? So because my kids, it's lovely because even though that they are, my last three children are all like, they're air signs. They're like an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And so the Libra is very pleasant, very balancing, but he's got anger issues sometimes. Since the day he came out of the womb. And my daughter's an Aquarius, and she's very organized in how she is. She doesn't like clutter. She likes very clean lines. She likes things to look good. She has a little bit of OCD and things like that. And then my Gemini son, and he has an Aquarius rising. And what's really funny about that is that he's the one who's more like, my daughter just got her first couple tattoos, right? With my Aquarius rising is like, with the Gemini, he doesn't have he doesn't, like, he's talked about tattoos, but he's very, everything has to be very clean cut on him, very clean cut. And he's the kid who likes to wear suits, always has, and making sure, like, he'll iron his t-shirts and stuff, so everything has to look very good and very pressed. Anyways, going, I don't know why this is coming in, but this is where it's like organization. looking at, when I say things, their mind is very intellectual. That's where I was going with this. Their mind is very intellectual. So it's like, I don't understand what you're saying. That doesn't make a lot of sense. That sounds very woohoo. This is what is, but this is, I can actually see this. This is not so much as what earth signs are like, I got to see it. Show me it. I got to see it. Where water signs are like, well, we're just going with the flow with this. We just gotta feel it, and we gotta trust in our feelings and go with it. And that's, again, we're going back to the Cancer moon. You got to go with your emotions and your feeling of it. Because if you're not, you're going to combat and you're going to get yourself really wonked out on, oh, it's got to look like this, it's got to look like this, it's got to, blah 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 blah, and you'll just like totally freak yourself out with all of it. So when you're coming into it, putting the hands on the heart, or maybe a hand on the heart and a hand just on your belly button, and it's just allowing yourself some breathing time and stepping away and feeling. So this today, take some time. Look at the practicality of your week. What do you need to plan? What does that look like for you? How does that feel for you? And go with that. Look at, if you do any meal planning or prepping, what does the meal prepping and planning look like for you? And maybe you have to do a little excursion to the grocery store to say, okay, let me look at this. We're going to have chicken teriyaki this week. We're going to have some kind of hamburgers. So maybe I can make some hamburger patties up so they're ready in the freezer. My mom used to do that all the time. She used to have a thing from Avon. You guys are going to love me. I had a thing from Avon that would press your, Avon has the coolest gadgets at times, but that she would make a stack of, and she'd put wax paper in between each of her hamburger patties, and then she would freeze them. And then when she was making hamburgers for us, she'd pull that out, and it's usually a big stack because there's 6 kids, right? So there was a big stack, and for us to make hamburger. But the funny thing is, here is crazy things. We never really always had hamburger buns. I don't know about you guys. We didn't always have hamburger buns. So the hamburgers would go in between 2 pieces of bread. So you'd have this juicy, ooey gooey hamburger in between 2 pieces of white bread with all the fixing on it. And of course, everything goes through on the white bread and your hands get all gooey. But they used to taste great, because we didn't always have hamburger buns. And my mother wasn't going to go out and buy hamburger buns for us just to have hamburgers when there was good bread there, if you wanted to have bread in between with your hamburger. Anyways, so just start doing some planning, have some fun today, and don't try and not get into the panic mode, or which will cause a little bit of disgruntle with them. So have a blessed day, and let your light shine, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you do and all that you be. I'll have the tarot up later on. Your sun signs will be coming up later on today, if not today, tomorrow morning. So have a blessed one, and we will talk to you soon. Blessed be everybody. Bye-bye.